So interesting article here on the F1Chronicle.com, guys. One going over Max Verstappen and how he's admitted that he has limited patience for his F1 career. Now, we've seen hints of this before, particularly when we had Sweargate, particularly when we also had the Hungarian Grand Prix and Max Verstappen really not having a good time in that cockpit. I almost felt sorry for him, to be honest with you, how he going off. Well, let's have a look at what this was referring to here, because, yeah, the guy is looking set to become a four-time world champion and, kind of emulate what Sebastian Vettel did as well, Red Bull's only other F1 champion, by winning 4 in a row. So let's have a look what's been said. Poised to win his 4th consecutive world championship, Max Verstappen has warned his fans not to expect his career to last forever. "I'm not going to do what Fernando did. I can assure you that," the Red Bull driver told COD podcast. Indeed, like Alonso, the 27-year-old Verstappen made his Formula 1 debut as a teenager. 23 years later, the now 43-year-old Alonso is still on the grid and signed up with Aston Martin for at least 2 more seasons. For me, that's just too much of a good thing. Verstappen insists, "I love what I do, but I've already achieved what I want to achieve personally. Everything else is a bonus. When you win your 8th or 9th title, it's just more of the same. You become world champion and world champion and world champion. Then your title is not special. I'm not going to be around long enough to win 10 or 12 world titles," the Dutchman warned. In fact, Verstappen is signed up with Red Bull through to 2028, but the deal contains exit clauses and he admits that several aspects of modern F1 frustrates him. "In karting, it wasn't that political, we just had fun, and it wasn't about the racing." Sorry, it was about the racing. In Formula 1, it's not just about the driving. That was the case in the past, and it's gotten even worse now. Verstappen admits social media is particularly frustrating. Hear, hear, Max. Hear, hear. Although do go follow the F1 Chronicle on our social media channels, but I personally don't really use them much. That's just my thing. But yeah. "Everyone is sitting on the couch and has an opinion," he said. "It's a bit silly. They are better than us. They don't just have a car. That's how they see it. They can't do anything, but they know a lot." That's just the classic armchair fan, basically, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We try, we can give opinions. Everyone's got an opinion, but I do value the opinions of other drivers a lot more than most people in comment sections. I will be honest. It's just the way it is. I mean, they are the experts. They have experience of it. Verstappen is already looking ahead to his post-retirement life with excitement. "Of course I have my contract," he said, "but I'm not going to continue till I'm 40. I also want to do other things, and I'm relaxed about that. I also want to do other kinds of racing, but we now have 24 Grand Prix a year, which is a lot. If you have the car for it, it's good to be able to win more titles, but when you look back later in life, you don't want to say that you've raced for 40 years. I'm at the peak of my life now, and I don't want to think when I'm 60 about how I can be faster. At some point, you become more relaxed. I also want to help young talents who don't have the chance to start careers like I did." Verstappen's other great passion is high-level online sim racing with his team Redline. "I want to find people worldwide and offer them a chance to drive, if they don't have a budget for it now," he admitted. I want to create an online world and offer them the chance to move to the real world of racing. I want to invest time in that and make sure it works. I can't stay in F1 forever, so I want to make other projects successful." Max's famous father, Jos, warns that his son is serious about looking forward to the future. "I can tell that a number of races in Formula 1 is becoming too much for many drivers, Max included," Verstappen Sr. told his website. "He's always been very outspoken about it. I think eventually it does take the fun out of it. When I started, there were only about 16 or 17 races. Now there's 24, and you can feel it with everyone. Mechanics included are always on the road. Max is away even more because he also does simulator work and sponsor commitments. You can't imagine how often he is away from home." As for Max, he laughed off the idea that he could transition from racing in F1 to commentating on the sport. "Look, it's perfectly fine to have your own opinion because I have one too. I don't always say it because if I always give my own opinion, we can't broadcast it on television very often. That's why I should never become a commentator. That might be nice for me, but not for the rest. So I'll go and drink gin and tonics." Very well said, Max. Some really interesting stuff there, some really interesting stuff about him wanting to give back to kids who don't have the ability to go real life karting and start a racing career. Same with sim racing as well. Sim racing is an opportunity for people who can't afford to go karting to do something a lot less high budget. But even in that, and I used to work for a website where we used to have a sim racing league of our own, and the drivers, I used to interview the drivers quite regularly, and some of these guys were also in the F1 esports thing as well, so that these are like the creme de la creme, the top of the top. You know, their sim racing rigs are really expensive. You know, I asked them to walk me through how much everything costs, and you're talking for a top level sim rig. I mean, this was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, so it's probably gone up, but you're talking £20,000. You know, you're talking 20 grand. You're gonna buy a real life good car for that, like. So there is that. So I feel him. You know, he said that on a number of occasions that he is past the halfway point of his career. Some people again might say, oh well, sounds like he's quitting. No, not even in the slightest, you know. And he can always change his opinion. You know, he might be saying this stuff but then realize when his contract's up in 28, you know what, I'll keep it going. I want to drive for Ferrari, I want to drive for Mercedes, or I want to keep it here at Red Bull or whatever, you know. So there is that as well. And at the end of the day, everybody's got their own goals, everybody's got their own passions. You know, Nico Rosberg, he became world champion and retired immediately. And he's not the only one to do that either. There's been quite a few of those over the years in F1. Max Verstappen, in his own words, has already achieved his goals. I would be surprised if he doesn't try to go for the overall win record and the overall championship record. Why not at this point? The guy is absolutely on fire. He's on like 60 odd wins now as well. He could well catch Hamilton and Schumacher. I can see it. I can really see it. Certainly he can get 8 world titles. That's the kind of talent we're talking about here. You know, love him or loathe him, he is a really, really quick driver. And, you know, experience, consistency, that all is important, and he has plenty of both now. But the most important thing in Formula 1 is being fast. And right now, in F1, I'd wager there is nobody as quick as Max Verstappen right now. I don't see it. He has done magnificently well this year to win in a car that, for the majority of this season, for the vast majority of this season, in my opinion, has not been the fastest car in the grid. But he has still managed to win a lot, and win in spectacular style as well, particularly at Brazil the other week. You know, that is something really, really special. So yeah, if he says that he wants to call it quits, I believe him. I can see it. I'd be surprised if he doesn't at least try to go for all the records, but it's a tough one. It ain't easy. Everybody always said, I remember growing up, everybody always said the same thing. Nobody will beat Michael Schumacher's record. 91 wins, 7 world championships, 155 podiums or whatever he got. No one's ever going to be able to beat that. And then Lewis Hamilton did. And then people said that no one's ever going to break Lewis Hamilton's records. Max Verstappen might break him. He might well break him. But anyway, what do you think, guys? Do you think Verstappen will leave Formula 1 after his current deal with Red Bull ends at the end of 2028? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, keep it subscribed to the F1Chronicle.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Ring the bell as well. And we'll see you very soon, guys. Have a good one.